Hello, welcome back to another Creepypasta reading. My name is Jasper Says One. Today we are reading MaRIo. I was asked to clean out my father's house. After he had passed away, he was a huge gaming nerd. He even camped out for the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System when he was about my age, 19. I don't think that ever happened. He had them all. Atari 2600, Atari Flashback, Magnavox Odyssey, 2000, 5000, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, Wii, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, DS Lite, DSi, 3DS, Xbox, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1 through 3, PSP, and a PS Vita, but no Sega. He might have even had the Wii U if he was alive long enough for the release. Dude, didn't it come out like a little bit after the 3DS? I wouldn't know. I was in my father's house, alone, cleaning out the basement. I grabbed one of the last cardboard boxes down there, and I noticed how light it was. Oh my gosh. Wondering why it was so light, I peeked inside to find that one old Nintendo Entertainment System game cartridge. It did not have a game label on it. It only had MaRIo crudely written by my father with a permanent marker. I became curious. Why was this game all by itself in a box? Why was the label torn off? Why was it written on? And why was Mario spelt so crudely? Since my father handed me down all of his games and consoles, which included his Nintendo Entertainment System, I decided to take it home and figure out for myself. I got home and set up the Nintendo Entertainment System. I immediately popped the game and started it up. Things already seemed a little off. The game had no startup screen. It simply just placed me at the start of the first level of what appeared to be the game we all know and love, Super Mario Brothers. There needs to be quotations in this sentence, but screw quotation marks. This game is old, I thought to myself. Maybe it was just a little glitchy, and that's why it skipped the startup screen. Dad did buy it at its midnight release after all. So I continued. As I expected, the game was rather glitchy. When grabbing a fire flower, it would make Mario small, and stars only work 75% of the time. As well, Toad never said the same message he would for you at the end of every castle. Thank you, Mario, but a princess is not a castle. He never said anything until World 7's castle. One step closer to becoming one of us. Ooh. This message made me chuckle a little. I assumed my father had hacked the game for laughs, and that was why it was so glitchy before. Things got weird after that. In level 8-1, the sky was dark red, and the music was a little slower than usual. Oh my good lord. The whole level was 5 minutes of walking. No enemies or obstacles, just the ground. Reaching the end of a level, I grabbed the flag. The ending fanfare did not play, and the fireworks sounded more like gunshots than 8-bit explosions. Like what Dante does. Okay, that was strange, I thought to myself. What was the point in that? Oh well, on to the next. Level 8-2 was even stranger. The sky was an even darker red, and the music was slower. This time, there were enemies. I approached Koopa Troopa, and for points, I jumped on him. The delightful little noise that plays when you jump on an enemy did not play this time. Instead, there was a squish, accompanied by the crackling of bone that a slight groan. This was weird and sadistic. It did not seem like something my father would do. In fact, he in no way condoned anything scary in my house. As I was growing up, he had never allowed my older sister, or myself, or even your brother, like in the sequel, to play any scary games or watch any scary movies. We did it at our friends' houses, of course, but that is besides the point. Sorry, okay. I moved on and ran into a Goomba. To make sure the earlier sound was not a glitch, I jumped on it. The same sound played. I was becoming unsettled, to say the least. When I reached the end of the level, the same thing happened as it had at the end of the previous level, I noticed something even more weird. The spot on the screen that showed the level you were on did not display World 8-3. Instead, it just showed World, followed by a symbol on the every flag that looked like a skull. I know it's not actually a skull, but it looks like one. The third level of World's skull was even stranger. The sky was a dark red, much darker than before, and the music did not even play, or maybe it played backwards. We never know. The enemies I came to were already dead. Their bodies appeared twisted and mangled, like someone had beaten them to death. It was Kyoko. That's the mystery. In Madoka Magica, she said, "Hey, yo, let me rough them up for you." Yeah. I reached the end. There was no flag or anything like that. Just a castle. It had "Welcome MaRIo" painted on the front of it, which I assumed to be blood, because why not? Reluctantly, I entered. The black screen that shows your status between levels, showed that I had 0x0 lives, and I was in world D-Ed. I was pale and trembling with fear because I'm a giant pussy. Michael Leroy joke. Or, well, not, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. I meant like that was a joke from the reading of this by Michael Leroy. Just what was this game? The castle was like the first level of World Skull. There were no obstacles, enemies, or slow music. Baby, it was backwards. I walked straight for what seemed like at least 15 minutes. My time had reached 0, but the level kept going. It felt like Mario was not alone. Like someone was watching his every move. Yeah, it's you. You're playing. My only questions were, what was Mario's mission in this sadistic, twisted game? What did he want to accomplish, and why? I had to finish the game to know. Or you can get a life, go to college, move out. Finally, I came to the end of the level. There he stood. Bowser. His eyes were missing, and his belly appeared fleshless. I prepared to fight him, but he quickly grabbed Mario and began to laugh evilly, realistically. Sounds that cannot be made on an 8-bit console. It became clear to me, this was not a hack. There's not even any capitalized T, and this was not a hack. Bowser bit Mario's head off. Mario's body shivered and struggled as Bowser dragged him behind the battle scene. You know, where Princess Peach was supposed to be. I expected to see just Princess Peach. Oh, who am I kidding? I wasn't expecting anything that would save me from this nightmare. I saw a Toad, Luigi, and Peach. However, Luigi and Peach both had toad heads on their bodies instead of their own. Bowser grabbed the Toad's head and stuck it on Mario. He placed him next to the others. Bowser then proceeded to rip his own head off and began to pull out his intestines. Text appeared. Press B for a harder quest. And even you can become one of us. I threw my controller at the screen, so hard the screen actually broke. I ejected the cartridge and threw it at the wall. It fell into pieces, and I noticed there was a note inside. I picked it up and read it. Dear son. LMAO. Dad. I threw both the game and the letter in the fire that I started in my fireplace, which was never established. I will never be able to get that satanic picture of my beloved characters like that out of my head. To this day, I cannot play Super Mario Brothers. The next morning, I woke up to see MaRIo carved into my arm. To take my mind off these things, I began to go through looking through all the other Nintendo Entertainment System games. On top of the On top of the stack was Super Mario Bros. 2. However, the label was different. It spelled Super Mario Bros. 2. picture of Mario delightfully carrying the turnip was instead a picture of Mario with an angry toad head carrying Birdo's decapitated head instead of a turnip. After that, I decided to never play any Mario game again. Whatever was on this game could be worse. Thank you for reading. I wanted somebody to know this before ... something happened to me. Credited to Supreme Kai for check out the sequel Mario 2. Beautiful.